From New Jersey to Kansas to my own kitchen, I've been tasting Malaysian chicken curry, excuse me, for years, and today I'm finally making it myself. So these are all the ingredients I'm gonna need to make this recipe. Lemongrass, garlic, onion, coconut milk, cinnamon bark, star anise, curry, potato, ginger, and then there's chicken in the refrigerator. All right, let's see how this goes. So I first encountered this curry when I was interning at GSK in New Jersey, right before I graduated from pharmacy school. It was rich, fragrant, and completely different from anything I'd ever had. It was actually served with roti, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, years later, on a trip to Wichita, Kansas, there it was again, same golden sauce, same cozy warmth, and ever since then, it's been living rent-free in my brain. So the other day, I got the craving really bad, and my first thought, I just came from Dallas. Maybe I'll just go back. It's only 4 hours away and get the real thing because I didn't get a chance to try any when I was there. But I knew they had some. But it was like over 100 degrees, and I wasn't about to spend 8 hours in the car just for driving to get dinner in another state. So I thought, why not try to make it myself? Should be easy, right? Right? That's okay. I will live. Okay. Okay. 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm gonna leave the heat on medium high for now. And I'm just gonna estimate this. And then once I add the oil to the pot, I'm going to turn the stove down. These are the aromatics I'm going to be using. We have shallots, curry leaves, grated ginger, grated garlic, and some bruised lemongrass. Okay, my oil got too hot and it started smoking. You can see some smoke coming off that stove. I get a little bit anxious or too excited. Oh, is it burning? So I'm scared right now. So I added the shallots and the curry leaves. The oil, the stove is turned down to medium. You can see all of the oil splatters because it was too hot. All right. So the first timer went off for 5 minutes, but the direction says it's supposed to be soft and golden brown. It doesn't look brown. I don't know. So I'm gonna try for 2 more minutes, I guess. So the 7-minute alarm just went off. I think the key here was to, and it looks a little bit more golden brown. The key was to not stir it as much. I don't think you can see the picture as well because it still looks pretty white on camera, but it's a little bit more very light. Still looks pretty white, but you can see those brown bits, more brown. So I guess that's enough. I'm not sure. So now I added the garlic, ginger, and lemongrass, and they said to saute that for 2 more minutes. It is starting to get really fragrant, so that feels like a good sign. I don't know what those cumin leaves are doing, or curry leaves. Smells really good. So in trying to make this, I needed to find a recipe. So I obviously went to YouTube, looked at some videos, I saw some vlogs, trying to find common denominators. And it turns out the curry comes from a mix of spices, coconut milk, sometimes they use curry paste, but all of the media was saying Baba's curry powder was the one that real Malaysians use, so I went on a search for that. Of course, my regular grocery store never heard of it. But 2 Asian markets later, I had my ingredients: the lemongrass, the Baba's curry. Okay, by a little bit of water, I'm going to add a little bit more water. You're supposed to make like a paste. I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess it's paste-like. That was a minute. Oh, yikes. Now things are starting to go fast. BRB. I added the chicken, and this is supposed to coat it all. I don't know. My confidence is getting very low, but here we go. Okay, I coated it as best as I could, and then it said to let it brown for like 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm gonna do 1.5 minutes on each side and then turn it over and do 1.5 minutes on the other side. It smells really, really good. It smells like Indian food. All right, it's browned for 3 minutes. Next step is to add the coconut milk. Water, but I'm gonna put the water this way. I'm gonna stir all that up and add cinnamon stick and star anise. All right, let me just stir up this water. Alright, I'm gonna stir this all up and let it simmer. Okay, I stirred it. I turned the heat up a little bit to bring it to a boil, and then the instructions are to let it simmer covered for 15 minutes. It smells close to what I remember, but the color is off. It's more of an orange, and when I've had it before, it's been a brown. So I don't know if that darkens or if I need to add more curry. We'll see. This is what it looks like at about 10 minutes, and pretty yellow. It doesn't taste like anything. I tasted it, so I'll have to figure out how to add salt later. So I went ahead and added the 1 teaspoon of fish sauce, and then it said a teaspoon of sugar. I added a little bit of that, and I already tasted sweet to me, and I don't think I want that. But to make it darker, I went ahead and added a teaspoon of dark soy sauce. I've tasted it, even though it needs to reduce some more. I don't know, it's like missing salt. I think I'm okay with the color. I'm not sure what to do. If I can just add regular salt, that probably would be better. But I'll add a little bit more fish sauce and see. I added like half a teaspoon more fish sauce. It doesn't taste saltier. Because I'm gonna get greedy. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the dark soy sauce because I do want it to be a little bit browner. And then I might just add regular salt. I don't know, that fish sauce is kind of squeezing me out for some reason. I feel like the taste is unpredictable. All right. Okay, well that's the final product. The oil's starting to separate. I ended up adding about half a teaspoon of vinegar, and I think that helps a lot in terms of the separation and the reduction. It still feels really thick and like creamy, almost like a peanut butter. That's not what I remember. Feels like it needs a little bit more acid, but I don't know if this white vinegar I have is gonna do it. I don't have apple cider vinegar, and it just doesn't feel seasoned. So I don't know what to do about that. I've been adding more fish sauce. I added a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Added a little bit more dark soy sauce. I'm not sure what to do. I'm gonna turn the stove off and see what happens. Maybe I'll just season it in my individual bowl. All right, well that's my first attempt at making Malaysian chicken curry. Putting the ingredients together, it wasn't hard, but getting the flavor right, I don't know that I have the expertise quite yet. So yeah, that's the joy of early retirement for me, having the time to chase a craving, to learn something new, to savor not just the meal, but the whole messy, delicious process of getting there.